Hey y'all! Alright, so it's April 11th. It has been one heck of a week. The last couple days have been unseasonably warm. Yesterday we actually got up to 91 degrees. But this is Texas. Tomorrow it's going down to 45. Yeah, we can have pretty much all the seasons within 24 hours of each other. Not unusual. Anyway, here comes the tour. So this is the herb garden. Pretty well done. I've got some cleaning up to do on the deck since I've been doing a lot of planting, and I'm almost done. I still got the front yard to do later. But got some nasturtium up in the hanging basket, some mints in the hanging basket, primarily peppermints in the green ones, and then that light one there is chocolate mint. I've got sweet mint over here. The chocolate and sweet were grown from cuttings from the parent plants I had last year. And then the peppermints were grown from seed. Over here we've got some onions, which are actually forming bulbs. So I'm going to show you. They're actually starting to form their bulbs. I planted these back in the fall. Spinach is doing really well with the temperature heat. It kind of didn't like that too much, but I've kept it row watered. And thankfully it's not bolting. These are cut and come agains, meaning I cut off a couple leaves at a time to have on my burgers and such, because I prefer this over lettuce. Really good flavor, great texture, and as you can see it's doing really well. So hopefully the cooler temperatures this next week will keep it growing for a while longer. I got lemon balm here. This is a really good, nice lemony scent. I love it. It also is great for mosquito repelling. A little bit of parsley. These were the runts, so we'll see how they do. The last pepper plant, I'm actually giving that away to a friend because I miscounted the amount of space and kind of ran out of room. Some garlic, which hopefully will be ready for harvest soon. Chives over here, both varieties. The two bigger ones are onion chives. The smaller patch is garlic chives. In the back I've got thyme and oregano. The oregano's not looking too hot because due to an emergency issue yesterday, I missed it in my quick watering, so it's coming back. It's a very drought hardy plant, so it'll come back real quick. I just gave it a watering and it's going to do fine. Let's see. I got my little dwarf dill over here, which is already flowering, which is a great thing. One, because I need plenty of dill seeds for pickling I'm going to be doing this year. And two, because they attract ladybugs, and ladybugs are something I really want in my garden because of aphids. So here we've got two little chamomile plants, which are doing amazingly well. They've pretty much doubled in size since I planted them a few days ago. Here's some rosemary that I grew from cuttings. These are the strawberry plants that I bought. They had a couple of small strawberries on them when I bought them. But they have, after I harvested and ate those little things, they were teeny tiny, but they were very sweet, which is great. But as you can see, all of a sudden it started flowering again, and it's already trying to produce strawberries again. Let's see if I can find it for you here. There it is. See? And this is already bigger than the little ones that were on it when I got it. I wanted to get a good root system established, but of course, plants do what they want to do, regardless of human interference, so it decided that this is what it wants to do. Here's some more over here. Here's my little succulent, which is doing amazing. I love this thing. This is a pair of common sage. This is Thai basil. I grew this from cuttings from my plant last year. I'm letting it, it's going to flower pretty quick here. It's only April. But my plan is to collect the seeds so I can hopefully grow some more of them. This is pineapple sage. This was kind of an impulse buy. I actually never heard of pineapple sage. I went to the store to get some compost and some mulch. But this stuff smells amazing. I love pineapple, so I kind of just had to get it. Here's some more lemon balm. Down here are some of my container potatoes. This is my first time growing potatoes. Well, period, really. And they're actually doing pretty good. I think they really have only about a month or so left before they'll be ready for harvesting, or at least from what I've read about how quickly they grow. I started these indoors, so they were already 1-month-old plants by the time I put them outside, and they have just done amazingly. So if you want to learn anything about growing potatoes, check out Homegrown Veg. He's got some amazing information on growing potatoes, and so far from what I can see, his methods work. I mean, yeah, he's up in Europe, in the UK, but they're working here in Texas. These are the mints from last year. The big one here is the chocolate mint. That's the peppermint, which I've actually got a few cuttings from that growing here in the aquaponics. That's just a branch that fell off the tree, probably knocked off by a bird or a squirrel. But as you can see, it's growing well. I'm hoping to turn this aquaponics bed into just a giant peppermint bed, because I want a lot of peppermint so I can harvest it and turn into a insect spray. My fish down there. These are some foxgloves. These are some of the flowers that I'm growing for the front. The front garden is going to be a, oh, bird just flew in front of me. Going to be a flower garden. River and Scooter just sitting there. Hi, Ruby. Hi, Cootie. Here I've got my flow-through worm bin I just built. I've got high hopes for this thing. I'm going to put the bedding in it today, and then I go pick up the worms from the worm ranch. Yes, there is such a thing as a worm ranch. Tomorrow. I've got an appointment to go get them. And this is a flow-through, meaning no sifting or anything. It's going to take a few months before it's ready for any harvesting, but once it is, I just kind of reach down the hole at the bottom and pick up stuff on the bottom. I put in food scraps and dead leaves and such on top. Vermicompost comes out the bottom. Here's the sweet mint. Here is the adult parsley. Again, this is a flat leaf, grown from seed. They're doing pretty well. Over here, there's my catnip, doing great. Cats actually don't care for it when it's fresh, but when I dry it, oh, they love it. This is the parsley from last year. It's a biennial, so it'll probably end up flowering this year. But I gotta trim some of this older yellow foliage off. I'm gonna be harvesting some of the fresher stuff today when I cook my herb-crusted salmon. Little lantana plant, I thought died, but turned out it simply went dormant. So here it's coming back, and I'll probably put it in the ground up in the flower garden. They are a heat and drought tolerant plant. They do not like a lot of water. They can do very well in very nutrient poor soil. In fact, they grew like crazy back in Florida in sand. So this is a really good one if you have trouble growing plants because you have poor soil and not a whole lot of water. This is a great option, and they flower lovely, and butterflies absolutely love them. I had turned my compost bin in it about 2 weeks, and kind of here's what happened. I threw an old rotted pumpkin in here, and now I have pumpkins growing in the compost. And apparently, a potato. So I'm just kind of letting this go, and we'll see what happens. Here's my broccoli. Starting to produce its first head. I can't wait. I'm not big on broccoli, but I love cheesy rice broccoli casserole. So that's what these are going to end up being. Here's my other dill plants, the big ones. Again, they're starting to flower, so that's great. This is one of the peppers I saved from last year. And it's, as you can see, it's flowering. It's even got a few little chilies grown on here already. This is a dragon cayenne. It's a hybrid between the cayenne and the Thai chili. Rosemary. Oh, here we go. If you see, where are you at? What? He's hiding. Well, I was going to say, if you see this bug in your garden, leave him alone. There's one, I don't know if you can see it. If you find these, leave them alone. What that is a ladybug larvae. These things are voracious predators of aphids. Yes, if they're around, it means you've got aphids, but it also means they're taking care of your aphid problems, so leave them be. I am really happy to see these because we have had an aphid problem and it is slowly disappearing. Thank you, ladybugs. Here's another nasturtium. I've got kind of an insect mesh here because my biggest problem last year was leaf hoppers getting onto my cucumbers. So I'm just going to be pollinating my cucumbers by hand. But as you can see, they're already growing. I've also got some beans going there. I've got Those two are some older plants, and I've got some newer ones that are just starting to sprout. And again, more peppers. I got jalapenos, already forming peppers. Poblanos are just starting to form. And even bell peppers. These are the ones that I overwintered from last year, and they're doing great. And here we go. There's the garden. This is what I've been working so hard on, and it looks absolutely amazing. Hot peppers, carrots, some of which may be ready for harvest in about another month or so. Lots of little flowers, marigolds. Yeah, I can't talk today. A lot of marigolds grown in here. Several different varieties of basil, 5 different varieties in fact. Tomatoes, including my very first tomato of the year. That is from a 4th of July. They are somewhat heat tolerant and known for producing tomatoes as early as, well, the 4th of July. So I've already got tomatoes starting. These are my sweet peppers in front of them. Here's my next crop of onions. It should be ready in the fall. They're thickly planted because I'll start taking some of them out for green onions and then leaving them a little wider space so they'll develop bulbs later in the fall. Here's some more tomatoes. Got some borage, which is getting ready to flower. More peppermint. Tomatillos, with my first tomatillo starting to grow, so that's great. From what I've read and heard, you're supposed to have 2 of these because tomatillos are self-sterile, so you actually need 2 of them so they can pollinate each other, which it looks like it's working. Purple Majesty potatoes, and this is a russet that was accidentally growing in my pile. As you can see, it's kind of starting to die off. It's actually getting close to 100 days on this, and that's about harvest time, so I'm hoping this is just a natural die-off, because my others all look fine, no signs of problems. So, I can actually see the ground kind of swelling up a bit. I might kind of dig in there later and see if there's any signs of any tubers growing. This is going to be my melon bed. Some compost dumped that was in the bottom when I made compost tea the other day. But I plan on growing watermelons, sugar babies, maybe cantaloupe, I'm not sure. It's kind of a small bed, so we'll see. This little bed, I don't know what it'll end up being in the future. Maybe strawberries. But for now, here's my strawberry tower, which I wasn't expecting anything till fall, but it's flowering and starting to get ready to produce strawberries, so we'll see what happens. And my Roma tomatoes, which are flowering, I've already got a small tomato forming on that, so right now I'm hoping to get a decent crop of Roma tomatoes here in another couple months, and then once they're harvested, these will be pulled out and replaced by more heat-tolerant determinate tomatoes for the summer. And here's Little Miss River again. Woof woof. There you go. Alright, bye.